So how about the two towers?
Oh, I was just, dude, me and you are on the same frequency because I was about to be like, speaking of pissing people off, this next conspiracy is probably going to piss some people off, but you know, you get what you get with conspiracies. You're either going to love them or hate them. Just a spark and we're off the ground. I'm leaving this ground. Look at us, setups. Man. So we've been listening to everyone's comments and we got new mics. Or at least me and Mike stand, but same difference. Something cool.
Yeah, dude, I got a new microphone, new mic stand. We got the, earphones on.
Now we're both out here looking beautiful, looking wonderful.
Yeah, we want to, bring up the quality of the cast for all you guys. All the haters out there.
All the skaters.
All the skaters.
If anyone skateboards, put it in the chat.
Yeah.
The comment section. I mean, it's cool. We'll like it. Oh man. So story time. Me and Adam, we usually discuss what time we want to do the podcast, the day before, what days work with each other. If you guys have been watching, me and Adam are in completely two different time zones. So he's 3 hours ahead of me right now. So we were talking yesterday and we decided to come upon the time 8 o'clock. So it seems kind of vague, 8 o'clock, right? So not sure. But in the mindset, we would assume 8 o'clock for me, 11 o'clock for Adam. So 5 o'clock this morning, I get up from my slumber to use the restroom, and I come back into my room and lay down and just woken up to a bzz, and like my phone lights up. This is 5 a.m. So I look at my phone and I see a text from Adam saying, "Bro, just give me 20 minutes." I'm like, dude, it's 5 a.m. I'm still asleep. You can have 3 hours if you want. Yeah. Said, I'm asleep.
Dude, because my fucking phone died, right? Oh, so my phone was off. So I woke up because I stayed up late. It was like 11:30. I was drinking, coming down from the Mushies trip, just kind of like amazing sleep though.
Uh-huh.
And so I woke up and I saw it was like 5 minutes to 8. And my mind was like, "Oh, I'm late. Fuck. Give me 20 minutes, bro."
I said, "Bro, you get all the time you need. I'm sleeping." I'm staying asleep.
And then when we're coming on the actual time, 11 o'clock, I had to give Kindle 30 minutes to get ready. So it all evens out.
It all balanced out. Yeah, I needed that. What's dangerous for me is, so I usually press the snooze button when I wake up, but this time I did not press the snooze button. So like I thought I hit it, and when I got the text from you, I woke up, I was like, "Oh shoot, it's like 8:10." I was like, "Hold on, give me a second."
This is why
me get myself together.
This is why we can't rely on technology.
Right.
Isn't that, dude, we literally rely on our phones to like wake us up.
Oh yeah.
How lazy is that?
Instead of just the good old sun to get us up.
Yeah, the sun, like, "Oh, it's time to wake up." We duct tape our windows and say, "Technology's gonna wake me up, boys."
Right. I'm relying on the future. Not doing what my ancestors used to do. No way. How are you when it comes to waking up? I'm starting to get better, but I was pretty bad for a little bit. Like it takes a minute for me to wake up.
For me, it's not that bad. And especially since I'm waking up early every morning for work.
Right.
My body kind of gets in that natural clock.
Okay.
Yeah, so if I go to bed around like 9:30, 10, I'll wake up around like 5 or 6.
Okay.
Just naturally, all natural.
All natural. No tech. No sups. He's just asleep. See, my body's starting to get into that kind of natural sleep cycle, especially since I've been working. So I'm starting to get there. And then in a couple weeks, my schedule's going to change to 5:30 a.m. So I'm a little nervous. No. I picked that because I'd rather get off at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Hell
Yeah, like I'd rather have the rest of my day. I'll sacrifice some sleep. I'll just go to bed a little early, be like a good boy like Adam, go to sleep at 9:30,
Have a
10.
bedtime.
Have a bedtime. Yeah, my bedtime usually varies anywhere from 11:30 to 1 o'clock, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm gaming, that could
Pew 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 pew
that could
pew.
be the 1 o'clock bedtime is if I'm doing that. So
What have you been playing?
what haven't I been playing? I think we talked about it. Been playing a lot of Fortnite. I got the Xbox Game Pass, so I'm playing a couple
Dude,
games on
best
there.
thing on planet Earth, bro.
Yeah, it's sick. I spend whatever amount a month, and I have access to like 100 games that I could just download and play, and then uninstall when I'm done playing them.
Exactly.
Or actually,
Like,
I think you can keep them if you install it. Or I don't know if it goes off when the market goes off, or like when it's off the market, I guess. I don't know. I never tried, but
yeah, I think if you like stop your subscription, I don't think you can play them ever
no,
again.
if you stop your subscription, I think it's gone. But if like saying, because what they do is they add new games and then they'll take off games to
Oh
add.
yeah,
So I was saying if you installed one of those games and they happen to take it off, I wonder if you can still keep it. Maybe
I
I'll try
wonder.
that.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll try that out.
yeah,
But
dude.
oh, what's
I
up?
I do like it because you can play like indie games that you would like never want to spend money on. Because
Right.
on like Steam, dude, there's some cool games that you're like, dude, I want to play that, but they want $8. You're like, I don't know,
Gotta
man.
wait for those Steam sales. But I see what you mean. Xbox, you don't have to pay
Like,
any
that's a
money,
little
just your
sketchy.
subscription.
Because I play this indie game. It's like this like horror strategy game, and like it's like you're like walking and you see your neighbor like murder someone.
What?
Yeah, and you have to like try to like go investigate and like escape this house.
Oh shoot, you know the name of it?
Um, I mean, I did know the name of it.
I said, well, I did. I mean, it reminds me there is, I guess while you look that up, there's this game out called Little Nightmares. And that's like an indie game, I think. I don't know if you can classify that, but like an indie horror game. It looks pretty fun. It's like
It's
a
called
side scroller.
it's called Hello Neighbor.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. Hello
Yeah.
Neighbor. Yeah, and I won't spoil it for you. I never played it, but I'd watch like videos on it.
Oh,
But
nice.
yeah, it's a pretty fun game. But dude, you said you were on a little mushy trip yesterday. Any good
Yeah, dude.
stories or
No,
anything you
it was
dive
just
deep into or
we like took just like a pretty much just a minor dose.
Mhm.
Me and the homie Aaron, we just like went to it's called Pew Island. It's in Ohio,
Okay.
like outside of Kenton, Ohio. And dude, it
Pew,
was
pew.
all about that yeah, pew pew. But they were all about that salt life, bro.
Okay.
Right? So we just like walked around, we just kind of talked about life and some like, social drama and like just took photos and just kind of took in like nature.
Mhm.
And then just kind of we talked about because he's obsessed with Star Trek. Like
Oh heck yeah. I mean,
like
I'm
the
a Star
details.
Wars fan, so
Yeah, me too. But like he is like Star Trek. He's watched every single Star Trek. He knows all the plot lines, all the sub genres, the newest ones. Which because I could never get into it because it's so like they're doing space exploration. It's not about like war,
yeah, it's not
That's what I
Star
like.
Wars, dude. It's not the
Star
war in the
War.
star. Well, the battles, man. I mean, they do have battles. Sorry, any hardcore Trekkie fans out there that
Yeah.
do enjoy us or watch the podcast, but yeah,
But
also put that in the comments. Star Wars or Star Trek.
Star Trek.
We'll definitely be looking out for that. So
So
we
yeah,
back.
we were walking around this island, bro. Just like talking about Star Trek, Star Wars, talking about Clone Wars, which is like my favorite
Oh,
of all
cool. That
time.
that series is good too. The
Dude,
animated series.
so good. Like better than the movies. Like it literally explains all these little details and it explains Mandalorian characters.
Ooh, oh yeah. Oh yeah, we did talk about the Mandalorian, how you weren't too big of a fan of season 2 so far. Or you
But I
didn't finish
finished it
it. Finish it?
and
Okay.
and
Now
I
that you're
enjoyed
there,
it.
thoughts, so you enjoyed it, right? I told you, I was like, it's gonna get
Yeah,
better. It's gonna
I
get
gave it
better.
a little chance.
Gave it a chance. Just give me a chance, please. Please, that's all I need.
But dude, it was so funny. This restaurant we went to is like this steakhouse, right? And it's like on the water.
Mhm.
And like we're like coming down from the shrooms. Like I just kind of peeked and we're just like coming down. And it's just so funny. Like I'm driving and I'm like looking. I'm like, well, that's a lot of cars. Like it's right there, dude. I'm like, that's a lot of cars, man. Like, turn. Well, I'm like, I don't know, man. That's a lot of cars.
That's
Like
a lot of cars, dude. You sure you want to eat here? It's a lot of cars.
it's, that's a lot of cars there. For some reason, like I just like for some reason I was just like stranger danger for some reason in my head. So I was like, you know, I'm gonna turn around. And we'll go in the other way. So we go in the other way, and then I'm like walking in, and I was like, dude, there's just white people here. Like it was just like the weirdest thing. And I'm like, this weird thing with paranoia, especially with tripping.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh, does this this dude know these people? And he's like taking me here.
Right.
So, because he's like in on the joke. That's what I felt like. Like, oh wait, you're in on this joke. You know these people. You know this. You're pretending like you've never been here before. Like just
setting
like
me up, dude.
yeah, it's just like that weird, like just weird thoughts like that. You're just like, why am I having these thoughts?
Don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
No, yeah. That's that paranoia is real. Like I can get that just being sober. So I'm like,
Me too.
It's cool. Yeah.
Lately, it's been more, dude.
It's been more. Dude, one time I was driving the other day and I'm like pulling in like close to my neighborhood and there's this car just like parked there and like kind of just slowly creeping. And then when I pass by, it pulls out. So in my head, I'm like, dude, this car is following me. So like I'm driving, I turn the corner into my neighborhood and like I see that the person behind me, they turn into my neighborhood. So I'm like, oh, it's on. So like, bro, I make a left and I pull behind this car and cut my lights so they don't see me. That's how crazy and they ended up just going the other way. I was like, oh my gosh,
But I mean, that's a survival technique, dude.
Yeah, survival tech. I'm like, who's following me? No one's following. I'm in a Prius. Like, no one
There's
cares.
a possibility though.
There could be someone, maybe stalking me. Maybe I'm
a
down.
Little crazy fan, bro.
I'm down for that.
Stalker fan, bro. Already.
We're out here. But how was the restaurant besides the paranoia?
It's oh, dude, it was the worst place. Like I ordered a chicken breast sandwich, and first of all, I looked at the menu. I'm like, ugh. Like I didn't want food at all. Like and especially when you overthink things, you're like, I don't like. This is just gonna be. I know this is gonna be shitty food already. Right. We're in Kenton, Ohio, like outside of it, at this fucking salt shack, like a bunch of fucking boat heads, and they think they're big money, but you guys ain't. You guys don't even know what big money is.
You ain't even on the big money train.
And then I've just experienced, that like level of food where I'm such a snob when it comes to fucking food, bro.
You're Gordon Ramsay when it comes to food.
So I ordered like a chicken sandwich, dude. They brought me a 2 pieces of bread with a piece of chicken in it.
Just a normal grilled chicken breast that would be on the grilled chicken breast meal itself.
Yeah. I'm
like, let's just put it in between some buns.
And then they just put like all the toppings underneath. It's like, I wanted a sandwich that you guys made me. If I wanted to make my own sandwich, I would have did it at home.
Right? Or just ordered it on the side. Shoot, at that point, dude, you might as well just went to Popeye's chicken sandwiches.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Got a chicken sandwich from there. Called it Popeye's chicken sandwich. I mean, that's basically what it is now.
Yeah. But I mean, like, pretty much what I learned from the trip or whatever is that always communicate with your bros.
Have a plan.
Like, always have, like, because people don't know what you're thinking.
No.
So what you're thinking could be the exact opposite of what I'm thinking. Like, always communicate with chicks and dudes, like always. Right? And then also, things aren't always as they seem or whatever. Mm-hmm. Right? So don't be paranoid about certain things. It might just be yourself.
Right. Just give mental note. Things aren't always what they seem.
Yeah. And don't get mad if like a bro checks you, like, "Hey, bro, you stink," or "Hey, bro, brush your teeth." You know?
Did you get checked or something? Did that happen?
No.
You okay,
I mean,
man?
kind of,
You want to talk about
because he was like, because we were like working together, me and Aaron, and like I don't care to where like when I'm at work, because I'm literally working with just one other person, and we're gonna smell anyway. So I'm like,
Right.
I don't need deodorant.
You're working hard.
Homie said, "Bro, you stink." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I don't wear deodorant." And he's like, "You should probably." And I was like, "Okay." And I literally put it in my life to like make sure, just because Aaron said something. So and then Aaron, he likes to just stay at home in his little crack house and fucking watch Star Trek.
Right.
So he was like, "Dude, I'm glad you like forced me out of my crack house." Because I'm like, "Yo, let's hang out." Because like right when they said we were off, I hit him up. I was like, "You trying to chill?" Like
trying to chill, bro.
so like always like don't be afraid to like check the homies or try to make them like crawl out of their fucking bed.
Right. And don't be afraid to wear deodorant either. You know, sometimes we get scared of that,
Yeah.
but it's okay.
Yeah, don't be lazy. I think that's what that comes down to.
Someone told me, I mean, it could be true. I mean, but someone told me like deodorant gives you cancer.
Oh.
So I mean, which like what doesn't give you cancer these days, you know?
So the aluminum,
I would say the aluminum, huh?
the aluminum in deodorant, it seeps in your pores, and yeah, it's not good for that. But I found some deodorant that aluminum free.
That's what I
They
need
were
to
in
get,
business.
aluminum
And that was
free.
one of
Yeah.
the main reasons I didn't wear it. That was like one of my excuses. Like if I'm at work, I wouldn't wear it. But if I'm going out or something, because you never know, maybe a cute lady,
Mm-hmm.
I want to smell good, right? But at work, it's just a bunch of dudes.
Just such a dude. Dude, speaking of deodorant, I won't say their name just in case we blow up and they want to give us like an ad or anything. But so I won't say their name. But there's this deodorant I used to wear, and yeah, I guess right. That's what you say. Wear deodorant.
Yeah,
'cause you put it on. So it was this no, almost said the name. That would have been bad. But there's this deodorant I wore, and it was a gel one. Bro, it burnt my armpits like legit, like
What?
skin was peeling off.
Oh, no. Dude, you got to say their name, bro.
No, I can't.
This is a consumer alert right now.
True. I don't know if it still happens, but they were under fire for it, and it was like a whole legal thing. But it was Old Spice. Their gel deal, bro, burnt the crap out of my armpits. It was bad.
What flavor?
Which it was all different ones. And it was specifically the gel one, not the like dry deodorant. Specifically the gel one. So any gel one, it was just destroying my armpits, and I thought something was wrong, like with me, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, maybe I was having an allergic reaction or something like that.
Hormones.
And yeah, mine, I got lucky. Some people, they posted pictures and it was like black, like the burns were black. Mine was just like, it was red and you can see like some skin peeling. But dude, it was crazy. Yeah, I was like, I can't use this deodorant anymore. And I was one of those people, like I said, I thought it was just me at first. So I was like, it was like after a while, I was like, oh, let me try it again. Instant, just like my armpit hairs were just singeing, just like
that's
burning
disgusting.
off, dude. So don't use that deodorant. Sorry,
Dude,
Old Spice.
I've used Old Spice like a lot, but I've always gone like it's not the gel one, that that like it's that other texture. Like it's more of
the dry one.
Yeah, the dry one. Yeah,
and it's just
like almost like a chapstick.
Yeah,
and that's what the aluminum free one,
mm-hmm.
the Old Spice one, is the one that I'm using right now. But dude, I found one at Target. Bro, it smells the best and it just goes on the best. Like it's like the best shit. And I'm literally blanking on the name right now, but it's like a little expensive.
Okay, makes sense.
Worth it.
But worth it. Also, too, what's that? Manscaped. They have a ball deodorant. I've never tried it, but could be fun.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I like my balls to smell a little bit, just to tell the ladies.
You like that that onion texture? Hell yeah, bro. So that nice sweaty after work
Yeah, a
stench.
little musk.
A little musk scent.
You like that?
When you go pee, even you're like, ooh.
You just like, oh God. Or you just like, when you like you're readjusting, you like smell your finger. Oh.
Oh God. But Manscaped, we're down to try some ball deodorant, so let us know. Put it in the chat.
Hell yeah.
But
so
how did your mushy trip end? Do you guys just talk about any conspiracies or anything, or
no, we just kind of like just like talked about different characters in our lives,
right?
And like how they like the things that we notice about different people.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't really talking shit. It was just kind of like analyzing people.
Okay.
Because it's like, oh, so we both notice this. It's not just like how I'm perceiving this person.
Right. Like we're both seeing this.
Yeah. So pretty much it just kind of ended with that, and then we just talking about how like annoying just our job is right now.
Yeah.
And then we just drove home. We said,
all the way home.
And I watched Sopranos.
Nice. But the reason why I brought up conspiracies, we had someone in our comments. So nice little shout out to our man Hector. He asked if we've done a conspiracy episode before. So we have done aliens. So that's a conspiracy it's in itself. So you know what? We're gonna take him on his challenge and do a whole episode dedicated to conspiracies.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, brother.
I think we're gonna start off with I think my favorite conspiracy that I've found in the last year. And it's about the fucking Four Corners guy, about the fucking time cube.
Oh snap! We kind of talked about this briefly yesterday.
Yes.
So, but I'll let you start going into it. Let's hear it.
So, pretty much this guy named Gene Ray has this it's not really conspiracy. He has a theory that time is not 24 hours of like one day of like the Earth rotation. Is actually a combination of 4 days, and like each like midnight, midday, afternoon, and like nighttime is in that sense of I guess 4 days. Like
okay.
Yeah. So it's fucking interesting, and this guy seems like, I feel like he's extremely smart, because he had this website, right? And that's what kind of like caught him on fire with like conspiracy people and other blogs. It came out in like 1998. And he also has this idea that it's really based in numerology, like the number 4 is very valuable. And he's been like he's told people that he's like the wisest man on earth, and also that other like senses of the number 4 in reality is 4 points on our head. He says that there's like, which I can, when he said that I was like, oh yeah, because I've sometimes filled my head and it feels like there's like 4 points.
Right.
And then also there's only 4 races like in the world.
Like
yeah, like
main ones.
Like Latina, black, white, and what would be the other one?
Asian.
Asian. There we go.
Ding 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 ding.
Ding 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 ding. Forgot about
one
you
of the
Asian
other
people.
Biggest countries.
Right? And
Asia,
then people have always just discredited him and just kind of like said like, oh, you're crazy. He's always like just updating this website constantly, right?
Because he was a teacher, right? Too. He taught at some university, I think.
I think so.
Or not even a university. I don't know. It might have been like a tech school, I think.
Well, he did do an MIT lecture.
Oh, it was just a lecture. Okay, so he wasn't a teacher.
Yeah. So he was just a like a numerologist and like a scientist.
Okay.
And he kind of like just created this theory, and no one ever wanted to like debate him on it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been people that have had interviews with him, but I think what happened was like he's had this theory, no one took him seriously, and he kind of went crazy
Because he just kept it in, like he needed
just
to let it out.
because he's been doing this for he was doing it for like 20 years of just like this theory of like the sense of like the number 4.
Right, like it's not just 24 hours, it's 4 whole 24-hour days.
Yeah. And then because I've had this in a like a trip where I visualized that like the world isn't a circle, or the world I guess is a circle, but we're in this kind of like square box, right?
Oh, like a cube outside of like, planet Earth. I was about to be like, dude, you're a flat earther, bro. Get out of here.
Get out of here. But because that's where I got that from, like the idea, because I'm like, I'm trying to understand what they mean by a flat earth. Because that doesn't make sense, right? But I think it makes sense with what this guy's saying, that there's 4 corners in this kind of like reality of space.
Space-time continuum. But dude, it makes sense because you know how we have those days where it's just like, today feels super long. That could be, think about it, bear with me, our consciousness, we're picking up on it. Yes. That it's not a normal 24 hours. We're picking up that it's actually 4 days going by.
Like 100%, bro.
We're becoming aware of it. So that's what's happening.
Like, oh man, like this year feels so long, or this month.
Right.
And then it might be like you said, like we might feel the day go by, and then also, you know, when it goes by super like fast,
right,
we're like even farther away from the sense of it, like we're you know,
because already time is a conspiracy in itself. We don't have we don't really have a sense of time, so it's just already
the reason we have time is that we constructed this thing so we could work for, you know, corporations and other people. Monday through Sunday doesn't exist. The hours don't exist. We're here and now. The only thing that changes is the lights. If you want to look at the sun and the moon, all that is just something going back and forth.
Right. Just think, who was the first person to just start recording days? Like they're just like, let me just strike this line down, which can mean a numeric, some sort of numerical thing.
Let's look up who created time.
Who created time?
Because it's just the measurement of reality, right?
Right. Is our reality, how we measure it. Because think back in the day, I would assume honestly they just went off sunrise to midday to the sun setting and then the moon. That's it. That's all they had. So they're like,
so they had the sundial.
Yeah, and the sundial.
Ancient Egyptians prior to 1500 BC.
Okay. So they started paying attention to the sun. And they're like, hey, we can what happened is they might have saw the shadow from maybe a tree or some sort of monolithic, whatever, something standing straight up, and you just saw the shadows moving. So like, we could record this.
Like, and then that even makes sense with the 4 thing, right? It's noon, right? Then 3, then 6.
Yep.
Then 9.
6'9", baby.
6'9". How about him?
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, what's up? But yeah, exactly. Goes back to the 4 points. Did anyone disprove him or like go up against him? Yeah.
Even wanted to
dive into that.
Like, which that kind of blows my mind too. No one could disprove it. Like, I guess there's been, you know, forums and stuff and blogs and stuff that have like talked about it, but no one can actually disprove what he's saying.
Right.
Because time doesn't exist. So
yeah, exactly. I was going to say,
how can you disprove a basic principle that isn't even really provable?
Right. Like I said,
right? Like
we
it's
all have this sense of time. Like I said, we have everyone knows Monday through Sunday, or actually, sorry, Sunday through Saturday. Everyone knows that Sunday through Saturday. You know time. You have like I said, you have 12 o'clock. So on, AM, PM. So how are you gonna like disprove? And it's great because this person thought outside of the box. I don't know exactly how he got to that, where he was like, it's actually four, like we're going through 4 consecutive days rather than one full day. It's like, how do you get there? And then we try, like, people try to solve that. And it just, to us, that just seems crazy. Like, we're
yeah,
just like, that's out, like, dude, time is time, bro. Like,
time is
time is
time, and
time. Quoted
who
by Kendall.
cares?
Yeah.
And that, like the idea of like, oh, like we've talked about this before about like Saturday, Sunday, right? That's when we party.
Right. Party hardy.
That's no, you're literally just partying for as many times as you drink.
Right.
You have
You
to add
keeps
up
the
all
party.
your beer intake, and that's how much you drink. It has nothing to do with Saturday. Oh, last week I partied pretty hard. This week I'm gonna take it a little slow. No, dude.
Right. It's a
It's
different
still
party.
you're still a body. It's still your body. It doesn't change it. The damage is done, and you're just creating more damage.
Because you're the party.
You are
yourself. You are
you're
the
not going to a
embodiment.
party. The party's around you. You create your own party. Yeah, we're like getting deep on party culture.
Partying, another conspiracy. But
Yeah, one must ping pong into a cup, and that is a 1 point party. Like
1 point party. One party point.
1 party point. Let's go, boys.
Let's go, boys. But yeah, this time capsule theory is definitely, or conspiracy, sorry.
Yeah,
It's definitely
Time
interesting. Definitely interesting. And especially how like it's kind of hard to disprove. I mean, to me, like I said, I guess I've been just so stuck on this reality of time itself that it just kind of like it doesn't make sense to me. Like I feel like time is pretty relevant, I guess. So
Yeah,
I would say for me,
true or false, or
uh
maybe.
I'm gonna go with false. I think it's just one consecutive day, and like I said, it would kind of like I love dabbing into the idea of when days feel long, like longer than others. Then I'm like, okay, he might be onto something. But what about you? True,
I think it's
false,
a
maybe.
maybe. I think time is the deepest thing we can think about,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he just has like a different perspective. His perception of what time is just different than the thing we've been taught. Because he even went in on talking about how like people that go to like school and are like have masters and PhDs, they are the dumb ones. They're just over programmed.
Mm-hmm.
Which that's just such an interesting thought. Because they're not themselves. They're just taking the program of what society wants them to be.
Right.
And you just become a robot. Like, dude, if you're literally spending like 10 years studying stuff of others people's thoughts, because that's what science is. It's just like, oh, this is what we thought, this is what we figured out. You're not a person anymore.
You're not thinking for yourself.
Yeah, you're literally just, you downloaded all this programming to be this thing that on the outside everyone like sees you as or whatever. Like, you're a doctor now.
Right.
You're not Kendall. You're Dr. Kendall.
I'm Dr. Kendall.
And that's all. Like, they don't think you have any other thoughts or like, emotions and stuff. Like, I guess, I mean, your loved ones and stuff do, but the people outside, they just see you as a fucking doctor.
They see you as a doctor.
So
yeah,
I think he's a very like a pioneer of like outside thinking.
Yeah, exactly. He definitely thought outside the box. Me personally, I would have never been like, yo, something's weird about time. I think time is longer than we think. But it's good, dude. We need to test our limit. Like, that's why we have a mind, like to think about things. And like I said, if we're so restricted to books, I mean, not saying there's anything wrong with books or anything like that, but if you're like, well, it's not what I've learned, or it's not in this book I've read or whatever, you're limited to that, I guess. You're limited to these things instead of just thinking on your own, like free thinking and stuff like that. So definitely don't limit yourself.
Exactly.
That's what I would say. Yeah.
The best thing to do is like respect other people's opinions and think about it and thrive on it. But if you feel like none of those fits what you feel is true, don't make an excuse like, okay, well, this is what everyone agrees on.
Right.
Because like that's when no change ever happens, right?
Yeah, no change happens.
That's how we don't have change. Is but okay, yeah, the two-person party for Republicans and Democrats, we've had it forever. That's just how it is.
It's just how it is. But you don't challenge
shouldn't be
things.
how it is.
Like I say, if you met this guy and he told you about this whole theory, and instead of being like, well, this is what time is and what we've been going on, no, you think out of the box and challenge him. If you don't like it, try to disprove it. Use your own mind.
Exactly. And that's what this podcast is about. Fucking challenging each other and trying to figure out what's going on in Kendall's head and what's going on in Adam's head.
In Adam's head. Whole lot of nothing in both of our heads. So I think our minds are just run on a conspiracy.
Exactly. We are a conspiracy. We don't even exist.
This podcast is a conspiracy.
We're bots.
So we're bots. So yeah, that's our first one. Yeah, I'd say I'm a no on that one.
Yeah, I'm a maybe.
And a maybe. So we got a no and a maybe. All right. What's another good conspiracy we can dive into? How about 5G and the coronavirus? Since I think it's pretty relevant to the time, since we are going more into 5G and coronavirus is still a thing.
Yeah. So like the whole idea of like the conspiracy of 5G is that it lowers your immune system and it kind of affects what you're more sensitive to when it comes to like viruses and stuff,
right?
Which is still like that is a legitimate scientific thing about like having high metal count in your bloodstream and having a lower immune system from like unhealthy eating, like high radio waves, and that's a legitimate thing.
Right.
So, I mean, Elon Musk was on Rogan and he said 4G, 5G, you don't have to worry about it. He said that you could have like a crown full of cell phones, like all on, and like having radio waves,
right,
and it wouldn't affect you. Like there's such a low radio wave and what is that word? Radioactive, like a
frequency, or
frequency, like, such a low frequency when it comes to cell phone usage that it doesn't affect us. Just like remember when everyone thought microwaves are still bad. I still feel like they destroy the nutritional value of your food.
So I try not to use a microwave if I'll usually reheat things on the stove, or I'll use an air fryer.
It's better.
Air fryer is a game changer, dude.
Dude, I still haven't experienced the air fry challenge, so.
Oh yeah, you'll be changed, dude. You'll be changed. But anyway, yeah. So, and I think a lot of people were freaking out about this whole 5G thing because it's like that's the future, and people are like, I don't like the future. But it's interesting how you said like. Because I could see that like affecting our bodies to lower our immune system, those frequencies or whatever you want to call it. But what were you saying?
They did the same thing with 4G. Which I was like, oh, I don't remember that.
I don't really recall that either.
But I guess like I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about how they did the same thing with 4G, right? And no matter what, with new technology, there's going to be conspiracies, right? And I don't think even if it did affect some people, their immune system was already shit.
Right. They already had a poor immune system.
And it's not creating coronavirus.
Mm-hmm.
It's just making you more susceptible to the virus. So that's where the conspiracy just went off the walls, right? It was like, it's creating it. This is what's happening. It's making us feel this way. No. If there was any scientific proof that this higher frequency 5G was affecting our immune systems, it would be like just making us more sensitive towards it.
Right.
It's not making it, our tummies and you got it,
making our tummy. So my tummy hurts. And it's interesting because I think I was talking to you. It was like we don't fully have 5G yet. Maybe I think maybe the newer phones, probably like iPhone 12 and like those generation of phones, probably, would you say, have a full 5G, or is it still like we're getting ready for it?
We're still getting ready because, dude, the companies, they're still building 5G. So there's certain spots where they've built a 5G tower, and we've received it, right? So when everyone's like, oh, it's giving it to us, dude, there's probably like 20 towers across the nation, there wasn't even that many towers to even affect anyone at that extent.
Right,
so
exactly.
And that also kind of disproved it too, because Verizon Wireless and T-Mobile, they say like, oh, 5G, the capability, but no one fully has it yet. It's not like we haven't transferred that. They're just trying to make a fucking marketing play.
Right, exactly.
Like, oh yeah, 5G. So in the future, but they don't want to say that. They're just saying, you have it now.
You have it now. But like going back into the conspiracy of it, there's one origin from, I guess, a news headline. It was called from the Daily Star. It said, fears 5G Wi-Fi networks could be acting as an accelerator for disease. So it quotes an activist and philosophy lecturer at the Isle of Wight College, White, rather than a scientist, says fact-checking website. So basically a study with the ICNIRP, which is the International Commission on Non-Ionizing Radiation Protection. They earlier this year, they concluded that there's no evidence of mobile networks causing cancer or other illnesses.
Yeah. I think the only problem with that is that there's the mobile services probably did that fucking study.
Right, yeah, they probably like we're going to 5G. We don't care what you guys say.
We literally don't care. We'll do this study for you guys. We're gonna put a couple grand under the door. Like, hey guys, if you see anything that's a little sketchy that might affect our business, just delete it, right?
Just delete it.
Do the study, but edit it a little bit, right?
Just like smoking. The future. We're moving.
Like, do you think about smoking and how much that kills people?
Oh, big tobacco, dude. That's a real thing.
Big tobacco. Big pharma.
Big pharma. That's all real, bro. Yeah. And I experienced it. I can't remember if I talked about it on the podcast, but I'll let you continue, and then I'll dive into my experience
with big tobacco.
With big tobacco.
Yeah, because when it comes to vices, right? Mm-hmm. A vice is a corporation's way of creating something that's addictive, that makes you feel good.
Right.
But it's usually going to be bad for you, generally speaking, right? So they have to sugarcoat the fuck out of things to sell it.
Right.
Like when you think of cigarettes, you don't think of drugs. You think of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't think of nicotine. You think of just a cigarette. And that is hours and hours and millions of dollars of marketing team just saying like, hey, this is an item. This is accessory.
Right.
Like when you see someone smoking, you're like, oh, they're getting high. You do that with weed though, but you don't do that with cigarettes. You just see them as smoking.
Right. Smoking. And it's
so that is just like the purest form of just marketing and just making this idea of like, oh, this is just an accessory to life. This is just a normal thing. Like you just take it up. Like that is just the thing.
Like
That's
it
how
looks so cool. It's in movies, it's in all the
yeah.
promotion, the marketing. Like it just looked cool. Like you're just having a
Yeah,
quick drag. They used to
we
call it, just
desensitize. You
right.
get desensitized from it, and and it's like it's watered down drugs
Hmm.
too. Like it's not even that. You smoke, dude, you may get like a little lightheaded or whatever, but it's not that big of a deal. So
It's
they take a product,
hmm
and because it used to be like you rolled your cigarettes, right?
right. You put the tobacco in and
And
you
dude,
rolled it.
those
Yeah.
are strong.
Right.
So they took that, created this watered down version that's so fucking cheap, and it's not
Hmm.
even tobacco. They like put a bunch of other like throwaway stuff on it and poison and stuff to create this like
Nicotine.
death stick that's
Yeah.
cool.
Nicotine's very, very addictive, highly addictive. But yeah, it's crazy. And then we have like sort of alternatives now. I wouldn't say they're better. I feel like there's still more studies that need to be done with like vaping and stuff. So, I mean, I would look at it as like I would rather someone vape than actually smoke a cigarette. But like, who knows? I think there's still more studies to be done. But I don't know. I could have said this on another podcast. I don't recall, but I used to work like in a call center for Juul or whatever, the Juul campaign. And when I say I experienced big tobacco, like that was when I experienced big tobacco. Like when Juul started getting all their flavors taken away and like off the market, basically. They couldn't like sell them in stores anymore. Like I kind of saw it, like you saw the decline, especially as I was working. But like the reason why I say big tobacco is because then I think someone like the CEO of Marlboro or whatever, he ended up being like a CEO of Juul. Like they ended up buying their stock and all this
Oh
stuff.
yeah,
Is like if you can't beat them,
buy
you just
them.
take over. Yeah, buy them. It's not join them. You buy them. So big tobacco, that's a real thing. You might have thought it was a conspiracy, but that's a thing.
100%, and that's business, right?
Hmm.
You see a competitor, someone comes out with an alternative, and it pisses you off a little bit, you know? You're like,
Right.
okay, so it's either it's not gonna catch on, and we can do like disinformation campaigns because
Hmm.
you saw that the stop smoking ads, those
Right.
are funded by the big tobacco.
Hmm.
Like, don't smoke. They're
Yeah,
literally
don't
telling
smoke.
everyone
Yeah.
that don't smoke. Like, it's like the scroll. I I commit my life to smoking, and it's like, and she goes,
Yeah, and then smokes it. Yeah, like
don't smoke.
writing a contract. It's subliminal, dude. It's
Oh,
like
it's
telling you
so subliminal.
smoke. Like what's that Family Guy episode when like it was like the subliminal commercials and it would like quickly pop up and the dude would just go smoke and then it would just cut out.
I don't remember that,
You
but
didn't
that's
see that?
fucking
Oh, it's
hilarious.
so funny. And it wasn't even like a quick thing. Like it was like a 10-second and just the dude going smoke and then it would cut back to the commercial like yeah it was like a Lassie show or something. They're like oh
Yeah,
the subliminal messages in Lassie or something like that. But
that's
yeah,
fucking
so
funny.
that's hilarious. But I guess we could say the 5G thing, that's a debunk. That's not a real
I mean,
conspiracy. I mean, it
I
could
also think
be.
maybe,
Yes.
bro.
Yeah, it
I
could
think
be.
I don't think it create. It's definitely doesn't like the conspiracy is that it creates coronavirus or COVID-19.
Right.
It does not.
Does not. Yeah.
But there is a possibility that it can lower your immune system.
Yeah, that is true. I actually heard I don't know, I think cuz it's 5G, so the newer Apple watches or I don't know about any other cellular watches but have the 5G now. I heard about people their wrists start to hurt, like their carpal
No.
tunnel, like kind of like things like that, and their arms would feel tingly and stuff like that. There, I don't know how many people, but there's a quite a large group who are like asking each other about it. Like, does this happen to your arm when you wear the Apple Watch, like the newer series? And then people were like, oh, I have the older series, I don't get that as much. And it was kind of like a whole like forum. So, like I said, could be true. Could
But
be.
but with that, bro, when I wear a watch, my fucking wrist gets sore. So I think that's just a bunch of people being paranoid.
Not sore as if like I'm wearing something sore, like
Maybe wear
more
them a little
in
too tight.
no, like more internal, like you're like carpal, like more like that, and they're saying their arms would get like tingly and stuff like that. It was kind of like, yeah, it's not necessarily I'm wearing it too tight. It's more internal, like radio wave. Like you're having such a high concentrated frequency on that one part of your wrist, more like that.
Which I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, because like say you're taking all that in one small area.
Yeah, and no matter what, the Apple Watch is running on, it's a machine, so it's going to create a sense of, there's going to be a little bit of electrical magnetic frequency, right? And it's going to create like heat.
Right.
It's not, it's minimal, but that also could be part of it too.
Could be part of it. Yeah, like I said, it's just something that I've seen. Or same thing when I don't know if girls still do this. If they do, I think I mean, I guess it's kind of gross, but like, because if you sweat, it gets nasty. But girls that put it in their bra, like their phone. Remember that? Girls would carry their phone in their bras.
The most ratchetest white trash.
Super ratchet white
whatever trash you guys are, like that is disgusting.
It is disgusting. It gets sweaty and stuff. But supposedly it wasn't there like studies for a little bit that it was causing like breast cancer and things like that. Because like same thing, you're having that high concentrated radio frequency or whatever you want to call it with cell phones all on one spot. Yeah. The battery. Yeah, the magnets.
So, like duh. Like
right.
Yeah. It's like us putting our fucking Apple Watch around our balls.
Which I've done, and I do not recommend.
Yeah. Oh, now my balls are fucking swollen.
Yeah.
I can't piss right.
Like it looks dope, but don't do it.
You like pull your pants down, and the girl's like,
said no, don't look at the shaft, but my balls are
look at the balls. That's the new Apple Watch, bitch.
That's the new Apple Watch.
Fucking get to work.
Yeah, get to work. I got some big old ones for you. Just a big old bulge in your pig, like hell yeah, brother.
Hell yeah. And you got like the camera recording.
The camera recording.
Yeah, don't mind my fucking Apple Watch.
Right. Oh man. So yeah, dude, there's different forms of that, different forms. But that ball thing reminded me of the episode of South Park where I think Randy got ball cancer because he was like too close to the microwave. So everybody started doing it. They're like hopping around on their balls.
Right? Because they wanted weed.
I think so. Yeah. So
he like put his balls in the fucking microwave, and he had like a fucking wheelbarrow, and he's like,
wheelbarrow. The one they're like hopping around on. Said my eyes are up here, not down here.
That shit's so funny.
See, we're self-conscious too, ladies. Our eyes are up here.
Up here.
Right here.
Just because I have no boxers on with my sweatpants doesn't mean you can look there.
These sweatpants, don't look down there. But so 5G, I would say I'm in the maybe. Maybe. That way.
I'm doing a maybe too, bro.
Yeah, I'm doing a maybe.
So how about the two towers?
I was just, dude, me and you are on the same frequency because I was about to be like, speaking of pissing people off, this next conspiracy is probably going to piss some people off, but you get what you get with conspiracies. You're either going to love them or hate them. Got a ghost, dude?
No. This is a piece of paper on my window now.
Dude, the government's tapping in. Does the paper say anything?
I don't know.
Does it say get out?
Hopefully not.
Did someone just put it there or
I don't know.
Win?
I'm just so in this right now. There's tape on it, so.
Oh, there's tape on it? Probably eviction notice.
Hopefully not, bro.
I'm just kidding. So just let me finish the podcast, please. Please, before I get kicked out.
But yeah, dude, 9/11.
9/11. Dude, all right, this is a big one. And this one, even I'm kind of like, things aren't adding up,
100%.
100%. Things are not adding up. So before I make anybody mad, trust me, I I'm not like one of those people that believe the plane was a hologram or something like that. The plane was real. I'm sorry, plane was real. They found the rubbish of the plane. The only thing where I'll say the plane, the ones that's a weird one is the Pentagon one, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But right now
100%.
we're talking about the Twin Towers. So I believe the planes were real, 100%. What I'm sorry, what I don't believe and what you cannot convince me is that these planes hit this building, and instead of just kind of like either just resting in it and it falling out or like causing like the top to fall off, there's no way that collision would cause a demolition like that. I'm sorry, that doesn't make any sense. The only way that can make sense if there's either bombs on the plane or there's already bombs set up in the towers, which was the one I'm leaning towards. Whether you want to, get into, which we'll get into more of the conspiracy, we did it as the U.S., our government did it, or someone else. There was bombs in that building already before that plane hit. Like, I'm sorry, you cannot. Anyway, before I get on my tangent, I'll let you let you speak.
Because it's been 21 years, right?
Yeah, I think
it's been 21 fucking years, bro.
Crazy.
And no one has came out yet.
What's
saying
crazy?
That was an inside job.
I remember that too, dude. I was in second grade when that happened. I mean, it's probably the same for you. And I remember coming to school not really knowing what was happening. But anyway, yeah, no one's come out about it. No,
yeah, and then, dude, seeing the towers just demolition, right? Like you said, dude, there's no fucking way. There's been multiple accounts of steel buildings being on fire. They've never fallen down. Mm-hmm. You've seen plenty of like plane crashes, bro, where it enters a fucking building and like, dude, there's been planes where it like hits a fucking like house, or even like cranes falling on houses.
Right. It would like cause some damage, not completely make it collapse.
Huge fucking skyscraper cranes, dude. It happened in Seattle. Mm-hmm. It literally fell down on this building. It didn't fall down. It didn't fall down, bro.
There was damage. The damage, yeah.
Yeah. Like, Mythbusters, this is like, this is dumb, but they did this thing where, where like the piano, like the grand piano or whatever, like is like, you see them in the movies where it like crashes through each floor.
Yeah.
Right? So they did one from like the highest point, and it crashed into the ceiling and stayed.
Interesting.
It didn't fall apart. Like, like that's a heavy ass thing that's very dense.
Right.
I mean, you can't really compare it to an airplane. But I'm saying that like structures don't fall down because they're hit by things. They're literally engineered to not do that.
Right.
And the Twin Towers especially, dude.
Especially, like, those towers were built to stand.
They're steel towers, bro.
Steel tower. So you're meaning to tell me the plane melted all those steel beams or whatever you want to call it and just caused everything to just crash like a demolition.
Oh, and also okay, I would believe it if right when it hit it, it did it.
Right. As soon as it hit,
But and dude, it was the second plane hit.
Right.
And everyone was watching. And then they got demolitioned.
Right.
Like, it's literally, they're like, clear. They hit the button.
I think there's like a video. Yeah, there's like an angle where the explosion happens before the plane even hits.
Oh, yeah. And then I liked the idea of the hologram.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fake plane as a missile.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, so like they just had a hologram over the missile,
and
it just like crashed in. But that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I'll say, but
it's so interesting to watch it on video.
Would, yeah.
Because you see the plane hit it and go through it, and for some reason you see it like outside, like it it's a it doesn't even make sense. But it doesn't make sense for the hologram to be on the other side.
True. Yeah.
But it literally looks like a fucking missile, bro. When it goes through one of the buildings. But that's part of the conspiracy, right?
Right. That's
this
all
is
kind
so conspiratorial. Like with Building 7, we can go on Building 7 now, right?
That's that was the second plane, or just happened to be another plane. There was what's crazy about that one is there was no plane rubbish at all. Not even a screw. Not even a screw to say that this was a plane that did this, is what's trippy. It's like, what hit it? That I would believe more as a missile was shot towards there.
But for Building 7, like I said, I love that idea of the hologram and stuff, but I think what you're saying about the demolition, like it was all a demolition. Building 7 was a demolition because they were like, oh, it's plane. It was the plane debris.
Yeah, the plane debris. Yeah.
Are you fucking talking about?
Like, there's no way it was that
doesn't
strong.
Make fucking sense. And it fucking fell, but while they evacuated it.
Right.
So they evacuated it and then it fell.
Right. Yeah, because like we were saying, like even a person that works on those jobs, like does demolition jobs, he like kind of went over it. He was like, he was like, when we do a demolition, this is how the building falls, and it was exactly the same. It crumbles.
Dude, the Vegas, they've demolished a bunch of like Vegas hotels, and that's exactly how it fucking happened.
How it happens, yeah. It's just crazy. Yeah, this is one of the biggest conspiracies. And I think it's a conspiracy to not believe it's a conspiracy because it just, things don't add up.
Like that 9/11 is like the entry point to being paranoid about everything the government has ever done.
Right, like that's when my paranoia first started.
100% And then what it comes down to is that the government does things to have excuses to start wars or to like COVID, to have like crazy lockdowns. Like there's things in life that the government creates so they have a sense of like almost an excuse to do like draconian things and pass crazy ass laws.
Because that's when we were going to the Middle East, right? Like
exactly, yeah.
So we needed a reason to go there. And sorry, I don't want to sound insensitive. Definitely. Thank you for, the firefighters, the police, and everyone who did work. 9/11, people who had to experience that, or soldiers, everything. So don't want to make people mad. I do recognize that, but it just certain things don't add up.
100%.
But we were talking about Building 7, and my bad. I was thinking of, because didn't something happen with the Pentagon at the same time during 9/11? Like the Pentagon was hit or something like that?
Yes.
That's what I was talking about, where it said a plane hit the Pentagon.
There's no way.
But there was no plane or anything. Like, that's what I was saying. There was like not even a screw to say it was like a plane.
There's literally no reason for it to be a plane. Like there's literally like there's video of literally it shows a missile hitting it. It's from a gas station.
Right.
Gas station footage. There's no plane.
Yeah, there was no plane.
There's literally no plane. Like that's not even conspiracy. Like that was an actual missile drop, and they hit the certain file room in the Pentagon.
In the Pentagon, exactly.
To clean up their dirty work or whatever it was. Right, and then everyone that like all the trained fighter pilots and everything, they were out on fucking practice drills.
Right.
And that was the drill. Was if we had an attack on U.S. soil.
Right, exactly. If we had an attack on U.S. soil. And that's what I was talking about. I got Building 7 and that mixed up. But that's what I was talking about, because I was like, that I believe was a missile, not a plane.
100%.
Yeah, because there is no evidence of a plane. No evidence of a plane.
No evidence.
Which is crazy. But yeah, I think that turned a lot of people like, hold on, wait a minute. That's a little shady. That whole situation.
But I think what happened with that was that we came together as a country.
Mm-hmm.
So what muddled our sense of like disapproval of the government was like the just trauma. Like we trauma bonded, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So not as many people like woke up to like, oh, the government did this.
Mm-hmm.
Like with COVID-19, that woke everyone up. With the Jeffrey Epstein, with all these things, with like shutting everything down and saying that like, hey, listen, you can't go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Like that woke everyone up. Oh, and then with the DNC, right? With fucking the Biden thing and Trump, like, and then Trump getting elected, dude, all this stuff just like woke everyone the fuck up. They said, "Hey,
wake up, soldier."
Yeah, they said, "Wake up! You're a human. You're not part of this nation. The government is a corporation entity that its sole purpose is to create funds for the people that are in control of it, and we're all fucking a slave to that.
Right?
Like, we are a slave colony, and that's what a fucking America is. We're a free slave colony. They're like, hey." You could be a fucking you can create your own business and create your own small little government.
Right. So you can do that. You can be a government.
You can be a government in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's the difference between like other places.
Right. Exactly. I mean, since we're on us saying we can be our own governments, do you think we're gonna ever get to our own state government? Like each state has their own government.
I mean, we do have that, but
kind of already.
Just, I don't know if they would ever disband the United States. I mean, I could see Texas doing it, and California doing it, but they got the resources and the land and the population. I think everyone else is like, yo, we're good. Like,
that'd be crazy if it was just like each state. Then I would feel like we're more vulnerable than people would attack us. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That's another conspiracy for another day. but yeah, 9/11 could have been an inside job.
No, 100% it was an inside job. Yeah. I'm 100%. It's not even conspiracy to me anymore. It's proven fact.
Yeah.
It is fact.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of stuff happened and it's not adding up. Not adding 100%. Up at all.
Even if it wasn't just our power doing it, like the government doing it on us, we allowed other powers, Saudi Arabia, to do it.
It was planned. It was
there. We worked in conjunction with another country, just like Saudi Arabia killed Jamal Jahogi. Do you know about that?
Actually,
I think we talked about it on this another podcast, but
that was the prince they assassinated or killed. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, he's like one of like the a diplomat.
Diplomat.
Yeah, he was a diplomat for the Saudi Arabia, and they murdered him in the Turkey consulate.
Right.
So like that's just like a minimal thing of government overreach, and like literally it was a government assassination.
Right.
In plain view.
Plain view. Yeah. I mean, even going back to 9/11, I mean, a lot of people can overlook this, but like in the Simpsons, them predicting 9/11, I think it was in several movies. I think there was in Terminator, there's a scene when they're in the like kind of like the storm drains and it says caution 9/11. So I forget what they call that. I forget where they call that. Some kind of visualism, I guess. But yeah, like prediction. I think it was planned and we were tried to be warned, I guess. I don't know if I would call it warned, but you know.
But yeah, there's not much we can do when it comes to like such a elaborate plan of like we can call that's like when it comes down to government like things,
Mm-hmm.
we can all like call them out after they're done because it's so uniform and so like planned out and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, most things, I guess,
Those
that
things,
it's
yeah.
really hard to fucking prevent like mass shootings and like, we can only like we got that like back vision, right? We
Right.
can only judge them and call them out.
Call them out. Yeah, that's all you can do until we all, like I said, continue to wake up. And kind of we did catch a glimpse of that, them storming the Capitol. I mean, I don't know if that's waking up. I think that's more just vandalism, but like
And yeah,
more the sense of if we come together, we can do something kind of
yeah,
sense is where I'm going at. I don't think we should vandalize and storm the Capitol. But if we come together, and smartly and you can make changes for sure. You can make changes.
yeah, 100%.
100%. What's another one? We want to squeeze another conspiracy in there. One more.
So we're gonna talk about like we're talking about governments, right? And shady shit.
Mm-hmm.
How about the CIA?
CIA, Central Intelligence Agency.
Right. First of all, they're not even like a federal organization, bro. They're a private entity that take on federal governments, right? And
Right.
they've been caught up in things like MK Ultra,
Mm-hmm.
where they dosed Johns with prostitutes and see how LSD works on them.
Mm-hmm.
This is like a legitimate, documented, experiment on
Yes.
actual people. This is not government employees.
Mm-hmm.
These are CIA agents saying, "Hey, how can we use this acid to, is it for mind control or is it for special like psychic powers and stuff?"
Right.
And they were literally doing people, just business people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, "Hey, I want to have some sex with this nice pretty lady." The little lady would put fucking acid in his drink and there would be a fucking one-way mirror and they would watch. Right? And then it goes down into Charles Manson.
Right.
Charles Manson, like this is I forgot the book's name.
Oh,
but Charles
Helter Skelter.
Well, no, this has to
that
do
was
with
the song, right? Yeah,
I mean, there is a book about the family and stuff, but this is about the government experimenting with Charles Manson with acid. So like he was like an agent for the United States government, and he was on this ranch, right?
Right.
I mean, everyone knows like he was on this ranch.
Yeah.
And he was with all these girls, and
Skull. What was it? Skull something Ranch. We talked about it in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood episode. Yeah.
But yeah, like he's being let go out of prison, getting experimented on in prison with acid, dosing people, and just reporting back to the government about how acid is affecting people.
Right.
Right. So then we go to the idea, like the conspiracy that the CIA created AIDS.
Mm-hmm.
What is your thoughts on that?
I think so, because AIDS kind of just came out of nowhere. Because it was big in like the, I don't know, 60s, anywhere between the 60s to 80s, I'm thinking. I don't know. Somewhere around there. I don't know the math. Someone can put in the comments when it actually happened. But no, yeah, I definitely think AIDS was created to take out blacks and gays, I believe, too. It was a big thing. I mean, I'm sorry, you can't. Some guy, had relations with a monkey, and that's how we got it. Come on.
Just like the COVID-19 thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they ate a bat. No, dude.
No.
It was created in a fucking lab.
In a lab. It's a controlled thing, I feel like, and it's just, yeah, I definitely believe there was this book think we spoke about it in another podcast. Behold a Pale White Horse. It's by William. I forget his name, but we definitely talked about this on another podcast. But in the end, they have like certain files and stuff, and that was one of the things that was spoken about was AIDS being like created in a lab. Let me see if I can kind of pull something up and talk about it. Hold on, pup's barking.
But what, like, it's interesting because I guess AIDS came out in 1920 in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that supposedly they said that it crossed over from a monkey to a human, right?
Right. And
then suddenly it just came out in the 1980s.
Yeah, that's when the U.S. First identified it.
Exactly.
But, the theory is, it was created by the CIA to wipe out homosexuals and African Americans on the orders of U.S. President Richard Nixon, which I think so because Richard Nixon was crazy.
Dick.
He did the I forgot what it was, kind of act thing, or like the war on drugs, right? That was Richard Nixon.
That was Bush, bro.
That was Bush. Which one did Richard Nixon do?
Wasn't Nixon I don't know. I forgot what Nixon did. But it was fun. When I was researching about the CIA and AIDS, there's a guy came out from like the WHO, like they said that they were working on just AIDS. Mm-hmm. And they were trying to figure out, because it was from like smallpox. They were trying to find a cure for smallpox.
Right.
And so they were like experimenting with this, like the AIDS virus or whatever. Mm-hmm. And it supposedly got out, and that's
how it happened.
And same thing with COVID-19. Mm-hmm. They're experimenting with it, and they were trying different things, like engineering it different, just to see how it would react.
Yep, and it
got out.
Yep.
Which I still can't visualize that. Like, viruses are so small and microscopic. You can't even see them unless they're under a microscope.
Right.
So think how hard that is.
Yeah.
Like, even like what does that even fucking mean? Dude, they're doing experiments on it.
What's actually crazy, we had Corey on here, and he's part of the team that's working on a cure for AIDS. Remember, he was kind of going into that.
Yeah.
So that's a cool little shout out. Shout out to Corey, doing the Lord's work out there in these streets. So
100%.
Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, there's a lot of different things. Like, I'm kind of reading, they're saying there is evidence that the CIA connection was in fact created by the KGB as part of the Cold War disinformation campaign to discredit the U.S. So it's kind of all over the place with this one. And then it says the 1980s anonymous U.S. official sources in scientific journals throughout the 1980s claimed that the virus was a CIA experiment gone wrong, like we were just talking about. This initially remained within the medical community, but as the epidemic grew, the theory took hold and persists to this day.
Yeah, same with COVID-19, dude. Right when COVID-19 got out, I've talked about this multiple times. I was reading like scientific peer I can't even say it, PEER reviewed papers,
right? Peer,
and they were all saying that it had strands of HIV. So that's another correlation.
COVID. So that's great. Are people who get COVID? This might just sound like dumb, but like, are they getting? You're pretty much getting AIDS too, right? Like, if it's in there, like a strand of it, or it's not strong enough.
Well, I think I have no idea. I'm not gonna even talk about it, but I think it has to do with like how it's transferred.
Okay, it's more how it's transferred. It's like
it's their strands. I think that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to figure out like oh, how does it react with these strands of HIV? And I think that's how it got out, because it transferred. Because AIDS is, transferred from like mucus and blood,
Right. And
right?
sex. Yeah.
Semen.
Yeah.
Right. So that's because not all, like, that's why we're not always sick. Like, that's why
Right.
not we walk outside and we get, whatever. It's
Hmm.
because some of these bacterias and microbes can't transfer through us. Our immune system just fucks them up.
Right. Yeah, because
And some
that
things just can't transfer. It just it's like some software just doesn't work for Apple,
right.
because it doesn't have like the same chemistry.
Yeah, because then I got kind of freaked out. I was like, well, I don't want AIDS.
I don't.
So, one, I don't want COVID, and I don't want
Yeah.
AIDS. So, I feel like that's like a double whammy right there if you
Little
get
double
both.
wham wham.
Double wham wham. But yeah, that's interesting. Like I said, I'm more. It could have been made to take out blacks and gays. I mean, why not? I mean, there's no evidence that it wasn't, but anyway, I do believe that it was created, or like I said, was played around with, and it ended up getting out, and that's how we got
100%.
AIDS. So I'm on that with the conspiracy. I'm
I'm
in there.
saying yes.
I'm saying yes. I think there's truth in that conspiracy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if it was all about taking gays and blacks out, but I
Mhm.
think there's a possibility of that. It's just because how it was transferred,
How it's transferred, yeah.
that there's a possibility of that.
Yeah, and I
That
think
it
just
just became like a thing. Because there's girls with AIDS,
yeah, I would say
like
there's
guys,
girls with
straight guys
A's. Yeah,
gotten AIDS, but I think it's mostly has to do with like, you know,
I think it's just how rapidly it spread. It was just kind of
yeah. And then there's so many. We tried to like make everything so like, condensed and like yes or no, but
mm-hmm.
there's so many different factors to things, right?
Right.
We talk about like black people inequality,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, they couldn't like go to the doctor, or oh, their immune system was so shitty, like non-existent. And then also like with like color and like with like a darker color,
Mm-hmm.
like certain like you don't have like that certain amount of like vitamin rate, like zinc and stuff. Like there's so many factors when it comes to that. So like I think when it comes to like statistics and stuff, we just have to be like careful. And it's probably like sometimes like maybe they weren't even like asking white people, or
Mm-hmm.
even like not like non-gay people, right? So there's the way they gather their data could always be skewed to like one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also that's a better story, right? For the news.
Right.
'Cause
Something to
everything's
latch
just
onto. It's the
tampered, dude.
headline, the good
Everything's tampered.
headline. Right. I definitely see what you're saying. Like I said, who knows? There definitely, like I said, definitely the truth that I feel like there's, like I said, it was in a lab, like how COVID
Oh,
19 is now.
100%.
Yeah, and
The
it got
starting
out.
source has to.
Yeah, got out. Yeah, that. So I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that part. That part. So
That
I'd
part.
say
Sorry.
one. We could close with one more conspiracy, and this is a kind of a shorter one. But I'm bringing it up because Drake did drop his 3 new songs, his Scary Hours 2 EP. So this conspiracy kind of stems back a couple years ago. I mean, probably, yeah, I would say a couple years ago. But you remember Sicko Mode, right? The song Sicko Mode. I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's also been said to be
COVID
one of
mode.
the next, yeah, COVID mode, to be the next what's that Queen song? Why can't I think of it? Bohemian Rhapsody. They were saying that could be our generations. But anyway, where the conspiracy takes place is supposedly Drake and Kim Kardashian hookups. So, you know how Drake and Kanye, they always been beefing and stuff like that. Well,
Yeah.
this stems from, it could have been from earlier, but from the first signs of it, it stems from Sicko Mode. In Drake's verse in Sicko Mode, he says, let's see, I'm going to read the exact lyrics so I don't mess anything up. So he's like, I crept down the block, made her right. He said, cut the lights, paid the price. So basically what they're saying is on a map, if you look, where Drake lived at in, was it Calabasas?
Calabasas, yeah.
Where it caught, like when he lived like next to Kanye and Kim and them. So basically, supposedly what he's saying, he crept down the block, made a right, cut the light. Basically, him sneaking over to their house to hook up with Kim. So that's basically that. So then, in this recent song that he just dropped, let's see, I think it's Wants and Needs lyrics. So he talked about, so this is the next, so this kind of fuels more flame to the fire. I mean, there's more stuff. I before I get into Wants and Needs, on Scorpion. So his album Scorpion, where he talks about his son, where everyone finds out about his son. But right beforehand, I guess supposedly Kanye, there's him and Kanye's beef. Kanye told Pusha T, and that's how that came out. But in Scorpion, there was also a song on there where he kind of talks about it again, like him like hooking up with Kim, like another kind of lyric of him driving through, basically because they live next door to each other. But in this most recent Wants and Needs one, it kind of fueled it and brought it back up again. He talks about, where does he say it? But he talks about Kanye. Hold on. Sorry. I'm trying to find it. Oh yeah, so he says, yeah, I probably should go link with Yeezy. I need me some Jesus. But soon as I started confessing my sins, he wouldn't believe us. So basically him talking like him, yeah, us, me, and I'm assuming me and Kim, he wouldn't believe us. So yeah, that's another conspiracy that's been going on. And then
also the whole thing with them getting a divorce.
Right, and Kanye the divorce is happening right now too.
Yeah, and then the whole thing with Kanye and Jeffrey, which I mean that was 100% bullshit, but I think it was so fucking funny, bro. They're both in Wyoming. Right, they must be fucking. Dude, they used to be both in LA. Like, what are you?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
What are you fucking talking about?
So that's why he's been going to his ranch so much. I mean, who knows? I don't know Kanye's sexual preferences, but who knows? Whatever. What he does behind closed doors, that's his business. Yeah.
Except the whole Drake and Kim thing, we need to know.
Yeah, we need to know details. So don't be surprised once the divorce is finalized and Drake and Kim are together.
You think Drake like tiptoed to Kanye's house?
Oh yeah, I think Drake's probably slept with most of the Kardashian girls.
Yeah, like looking the both ways, dude. He's like,
and Jenner's, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, and Jenner.
Yeah, I think he has. Who knows? He's a thirsty guy, so
and egotistical, dude. And then also, like, once you're at that spot, you don't see gender, right? Yeah. When you get to that height, who's gonna bring you down, bro?
Yeah, I don't know. I was talking about more, I think, with like Kylie Jenner. I don't know about the dad Jenner. Yeah, the mom. Well, it's a mom now, but yeah, but I think he might have hooked up with Kylie.
Caitlyn?
Who knows?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, I don't think anything with Caitlyn, but Kylie,
what if Drake? What if Drake is talking about him and Kanye?
That would be crazy, dude. That would be one for the ages.
that would be like the most dramatic thing possible, bro.
Like, no wonder why there was a beef, because they both didn't want to come out about it.
Yeah, he's like, bro, leave Kim, man. Come live with me.
So if this happens, dude, we talked about it first.
We said it first, right here.
Right here.
Right here, right now.
Try to steal our thunder. We already were on top of it. So haters are gonna hate, dude.
Hey, so before we go, this is some more like pop culture news, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a Charlemagne the God on a Bill Maher,
Okay.
and I wanted to your like opinion on like this idea of like reparations for slaves or like
Okay.
for black people.
Mm-hmm.
Like what do you how do you feel on that? Like what do you think on that?
What did he say? He just said more like
He said every black person deserve a check. And he was like Bill Maher was like, so even like the rich people, he's like, yeah, I deserve a check, but like the richer people, they could just give it to the people that need the more money. I'm like, what?
mm-hmm.
You're that sounds so crazy.
Like
But I
some
don't
sort of compensation. I would say more to like funding for like black communities and things like that. Like I wouldn't say like I mean I don't know. It's kind of like a weird subject, but like I would say more for actual like things going on, like activists and like more more maybe I wouldn't call it positions of power, but like more like political stances, like allowing things like that, and just kind of like more just funding to things like that, I guess I would say, and to even just like more historical stuff, like putting more black history into things. Maybe that's more what I would look at it as. I think should be more of, not necessarily an actual like compensation or like a actual money head, but if there is money to actually go towards things, maybe like museums or like things like that. I would say that would be my thoughts on that, I guess. Like some agreements, but not for like personal gain, like oh
yeah.
I deserve a check for this, but like to actual like fund other things. I would say towards that, more for the people. For
Yeah.
the people.
For the people, bro.
That would be my thoughts on that. What about you? What was your...
In my head, I can't even wrap my head around that. It doesn't even make sense. There's been so many
Yeah.
fucking generations since then. Right?
Yeah.
Like I understand like maybe when they freed them, they're like, here's a check. We're sorry. But I feel
Right.
like it's been just too fucking long. Like it's just been there's the waters have been muddled, and
Yeah.
there's been so much success, and there's been we've we've because it's just such a weird thing with like history or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just the time has passed. 'Cause,
Right.
you know when you're in like jail or no, like let's say you do a crime and the cop comes like, oh, it's been too long, we can't charge you for this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's what happened.
Yeah. And then my stance too on that, with a lot of things, I feel like money doesn't change what happened, I guess.
Yeah.
Like cool, like here said it's still going on today. So here's some money to kind of make things better. Like it just, to me, I mean, sure, money can help out with a lot of things, but it doesn't change the fact of what's already happened and stuff like that. And that even goes from my like ideas of like, say, like kind of like what happened with the kid, I think the Central Park Five. I don't know if you heard about them, but the 5 black kids, they were charged for a murder of this white woman. So basically, it's on Netflix. Very good if you want to watch it. It's like a few episode series, but it's based on a true story. These kids basically in jail their whole lives, and then finally the actual person that did it came out like years later. And I mean, they got compensation for it and stuff like that. Like they got a lot of money, but it's like it does help to a point, but like no amount of money gives me back my childhood,
Dude,
like things I've lost. So like
that's
that's
the
where my
scary
mindset
shit, bro.
is on it. Yeah. So kind of same thing. Like no amount of money takes away slavery. It have what I would say use that money for is more awareness, and things like that. And not saying like awareness, like I guess more so people understand like, look, this is what happened, when coming to America, or like, our America is different from, what others claim to be, things like that, before I get into like a deep tangent on that. But
Yeah.
that would be my thoughts on it.
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because it's just like slavery is still going on.
Right. I forget
Everywhere.
who has the song. I think it's Travis and Quavo. They have a song called "Modern Slavery," and they're like, I got these chains on me, modern slavery," which basically like they're chains, like they're ice. And I was like, yeah, it's basically, you have your contracts. We
Well,
wear, yeah.
I mean, there's like actual slavery
And then there's still
markets,
actual slavery
like
markets.
in
Yeah,
Yemens and shit, like,
yeah.
and then it's just hard too because like all major countries, like all countries were built on slavery
Hmm. I
because
mean, the pyramids and everything. Yeah.
that's all slaves, dude.
Hmm.
So it's like I don't know. It's a weird subject
Hmm.
because it's no matter what, slavery's bad.
Right. Yeah, I don't think you should own a person has their freedom. I think we all have freedom and
Yeah,
shouldn't be.
but then if you like look at what it's like a weird subject because if you like if you break it down,
Hmm.
I feel like there's just not a way to get around it.
I mean, prison is another form of slavery right
Oh,
there.
that's built
It's
in slavery,
Yeah, it's
bro.
built-in slavery right there. So, like I said, we can go into a huge, yeah, like I said it's a weird
We could
subject.
like
Yeah.
break it down and like see weird ways to look at it.
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I just thought it just didn't seem
Interesting. Yeah.
educated. I think that's what like made me like the way he was saying it. Like it was
Hmm.
just all nonchalant. Like this is what I think, man. Like what? Like there was no like actual basis
Right.
except this is what we deserve. Like on like the way he presented it was just like it
Hmm.
was just kind of like yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, I see what you're saying, and it's kind of like, I guess, I don't know, just the fact of like, hey, we all deserve money, but it's like, I don't know. Like I said, it
It's
just kind of didn't. There was no explanation behind it, from what it sounds like. I
yeah,
haven't seen the interview, but yeah.
the way he just came off and like the tone he used was just like what are you
Hmm.
talking like it's just like like why would like what is this, what are you trying to get at?
Right. Yeah.
Like
That
oh
just.
well I would want one too, but like the other people if the rich people that like what
Mhm.
like just
Right. Yeah. At this point, a lot of people can come out and be like, "Well, I think I deserve a check for this," and
oh
it's
yeah
like,
the
"Wait, what?" Yeah.
Italians the Irish like
Hmm.
oh well you guys were mean to us, like there's a lot.
There is a lot, yeah, and like I said, it's hard because there has been a lot of success. There's been a lot of growth from times of slavery to where we are at now. It's been a huge success, but I mean, it's still a lot of things haven't changed. I'll 100% say that, but yeah, like I said, it's a weird subject, and it sounded like he didn't really have, from what I'm hearing, it didn't sound like he doesn't have anything to back it. Really, just kind of sounds like, hey, I want money, and this
Yeah,
is why I want money. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so you know, on the subject of money, how about the stimulus check? The third one got
Oh yeah, the
passed.
third one got passed, dude. Right into crypto, baby.
Boop, boop, boop.
Crypto.
Crypto.
Yeah, man, we're about to get paid. Yeah, I guess they limited it to so people who make more than 80K or something like that can't get it. So,
Yeah, and then like couples that make less than I think it's 120 still,
hmm
like
like that's
married
the
people.
cutoff. Oh, like combined.
Yeah, combined.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it's nice. I don't know. I think we're pumping out too much money, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
cool, I
literally have no
guess.
clue. I'm not like a financial advisor
Right,
or
exactly.
a
Yeah.
economist, so I have no clue
No clue. I
what
mean,
this
it's
is
gonna
gonna
go
do.
back into the system anyway, so I'm just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, like China was saying, but who fucking knows about China? They were like, "Oh, the bubble, it's gonna pop," and
Mhm.
they were worried about because they got money in our market.
Right.
So that they're like, "Yo, guys, I don't know about this, man."
Yeah. I remember hearing back when I was a kid, someone was saying, like a family friend, they're like, basically, like China can mess up our dollar, like the value of the dollar, and I think it's happening now. especially since with coronavirus. And I think and like you said, their bubble, they just mentioned I think they're going to, I think this is what that part of the whole COVID thing was to.
Dude, we've talked about that a lot back in high school, bro.
Back in high school. I think we talked about it a little bit on this podcast too, but I'm bringing it up again. I think they messed up or they're going to.
Yeah, so we'll see. Because they have so much of our dollar that they could just like take it off the market, and then it just becomes worthless. But that's why crypto
is the way of the future.
I guess thriving.
I wonder why that's what. I mean, it was big, but it's gotten a lot more traction today. So in this day and age, I think crypto's the way of the future. One world order, dude. It's all coming together.
Illuminati.
Which is, another conspiracy.
Ding, ding.
We all serve the one eye.
That was the call to Illuminati.
Right. So. This was a sick cast. We want to shout out Hector again. Thank you, man.
Hector,
for bringing this up so we can get this roll out these conspiracies.
Yeah. Hopefully you watch it because we did this for you, bro.
Right. Yeah. Hopefully I'm gonna comment you again and be like, we put it out. Check it out. Just for you, man.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Comment on his comment like, hey, man. Episode 21's for you.
For you. I can't remember which video he commented on. It might have been the one with Nero, but we'll find it. Everyone comment, let them know. Watch it.
Guys.
This is for Hector.
And if you got this far through the podcast, comment any of like ideas you want us to talk about.
Or any thoughts you had about this episode. What's some conspiracies maybe we overlooked. Maybe with the ones we went over, you have some more information.
Yeah, disprove what we thought.
We'd love to read what you guys want to talk about. So,
and fuck Snapchat ads. Good night.
Right. Yeah. Good night. Right, dude. Yeah. Glad we didn't do this podcast at 5 a.m. So all good. Got some rest. All right, dude. I'll catch you later, bro.
Catch you later, bro.
Peace.
Oh.